What if the universe is trying to talk to us and China built the only machine that can actually hear it? Because while the world chases the next big rocket, China quietly buried something massive in a remote mountain basin. What did China bury? Press the subscribe button now because no one saw this coming. China built this to catch signals from the edge of the universe, and it's working. Hidden deep within the mountains of China's Guizhou province lies an ear pressed against the cosmos. Vast, silent, and watching. It doesn't see the stars, it listens to them. This is FAST, the 500-meter aperture spherical radio telescope. And though its name may sound technical, what it does is profoundly human. It helps us ask where we came from and who might be out there. Completed in 2016 after 2 decades of planning and 5 years of construction, FAST is the largest and most sensitive single dish radio telescope ever built. It can detect radio waves from more than 13 billion light years away, reaching back to the very beginnings of the universe. But to understand what makes FAST revolutionary, we must begin with a simple question. How do you build a machine capable of catching whispers from the edge of the universe? Unlike optical telescopes that peer into space using light, FAST captures radio waves, an invisible signal often faint, often ancient. The radio waves that FAST listens to carries the echoes of distant galaxies, the rhythmic pulse of pulsars, and even the faint murmurs of the Big Bang itself. The information it gathers can reveal the hidden movements of stars, the unseen forces shaping the universe, and the cosmic background radiation left over from the birth of everything we know. To do that, it needs a surface the size of 30 football fields. Building such a massive, uninterrupted dish isn't just difficult, for decades it was considered impossible. Engineers needed three things: silence, stillness, and scale. And they found them all in a remote limestone depression far from cities, in a part of China better known for rice paddies than radio waves. The karst basin here was not just remote, it was shaped like a natural bowl. This geologic formation provided an unparalleled foundation for a structure of unimaginable size and precision. The hills that surrounded it created a natural shield, ensuring that the noise from human activity would not interfere with the delicate radio waves the telescope would capture. As vast as the project seemed, the location was as crucial as the design itself. This remote part of Guizhou, shielded by mountains and untouched by the usual sounds of civilization, offered something rare: absolute quiet. It was as though the land itself had been sculpted specifically for this purpose, to capture the whispers of the cosmos. Radio waves, unlike light, can pass through the dust and gas that fill the vastness of space. This allows FAST to see the universe in a way optical telescopes cannot. Where other telescopes might miss signals hidden behind cosmic clouds, FAST can listen through them, uncovering the hidden phenomena of the universe. Pulsars, black holes, and the remnants of supernovae, objects that might be invisible to traditional telescopes, are revealed through the radio waves FAST captures. But what makes FAST so unique is its capacity to capture signals that are millions or even billions of years old. When the first stars ignited, their radio waves began their journey across the universe. These signals have been traveling ever since, untouched by the cosmic chaos that has unfolded between them and us. FAST is capable of picking up these ancient waves, allowing scientists to peer back in time and hear the universe but from a vision planted decades earlier in the mind of one of the most revolutionary thinkers of the 20th century, Buckminster Fuller. Known for his bold, groundbreaking ideas in architecture and design, Fuller had conceptualized the geodesic dome, a spherical structure composed of interconnected triangles. The brilliance of the dome lay in its strength, simplicity, and scalability, qualities that allowed it to withstand immense forces with minimal material use. This concept became a symbol of both architectural ingenuity and environmental sustainability. Fuller's design principles were then brought to life in an unexpected location, deep within the highlands of China. Here, engineers faced the monumental task of constructing the world's largest radio telescope, the 500-meter aperture spherical telescope. But unlike Fuller's original version for a dome that reached upward, FAST required a radical inversion of the design. Instead of a dome, the engineers at FAST needed to create a massive reflector that would capture radio waves from the cosmos. And instead of upward curvature, they envisioned a downward curve nestled into the Earth. To execute this concept, engineers took Fuller's geometric principle of triangles and adapted it for the unique demands of this project. They built the world's largest adjustable mirror, an enormous dish suspended in the sky. More than 4,000 perforated aluminum panels were strategically placed, creating a surface that was light yet incredibly rigid. The frame of the telescope was supported by an astonishing 10,000 steel cables, each one stretched taut across the vast expanse of the dish. These cables did more than just hold the panels in place. They allowed the mirror to shift and adapt, creating the precise curvature needed to focus on celestial objects millions of light years away. The result was a mirror that was not only a triumph of engineering, but also a testament to the power of simplicity in design. Each triangle, carefully positioned, became part of a perfect dynamic whole, a shimmering basin reflecting the wonders of the universe. Yet, even with the perfect reflector, the challenge of tracking distant celestial bodies remained. A stationary dish would simply not suffice. In the realm of radio astronomy, precision is everything, and telescopes must constantly adjust their orientation to capture data from different parts of the sky. Smaller radio dishes can tilt or rotate to follow objects, but with FAST's colossal size, moving the entire structure was out of the question. Trying to tilt a 500-meter dish would be akin to trying to tip over a mountain. It simply wasn't feasible. Instead of attempting to move the entire structure, engineers conceived something entirely new, an active reflector. This innovation meant that the dish itself would not have to move. Instead, its surface would adapt, adjusting its shape to align with objects in the sky. This groundbreaking solution was achieved by installing 2,000 hydraulic actuators beneath the surface of the dish. These actuators worked in concert to subtly reshape the 300 meters of the reflector's surface, transforming it into a dynamic, parabolic mirror that could follow celestial bodies across the sky. This was a revolution in how radio telescopes operated. The dish itself remained in a fixed position, unyielding in its place within the landscape. Yet, through the magic of technology and hydraulic precision, the shape of the mirror would shift, adapting the exquisite accuracy to the position of objects in space. It was a telescope that, in essence, moved without ever moving. Guided by complex algorithms and hydraulic systems, FAST could redirect its focus with extraordinary precision, pointing to new targets in the sky without shifting its massive immovable frame. This active reflector was not just a feat of engineering, it was a leap forward in our ability to observe the universe. By using advanced technology, FAST could collect data from every corner of the sky, from the distant edges of the observable universe to the faintest signal emitted by stars and galaxies. The dish could evolve, changing its form to meet the demands of its observations, all while remaining stationary, a testament to the vision and ingenuity of the engineers behind it. In this way, the FAST telescope became more than just a passive observer of the cosmos. It became an active participant in the quest to understand the universe. Through its unique ability to adjust and adapt, FAST opened new frontiers in radio astronomy, paving the way for discoveries that might otherwise have been beyond our reach. At the heart of FAST's design lies a second challenge: how to catch the reflected radio waves. Unlike optical telescopes that rely on fixed mirrors and lenses, radio telescopes must be uniquely equipped to capture invisible signals bouncing off the vast expanse of space. In smaller telescopes, a receiver is often fixed above the dish on a stable arm, but this design doesn't work for something as immense as FAST. With a dish spanning over half a kilometer in diameter, engineers were forced to rethink how to keep track of the signals bouncing off such a massive parabolic surface. Drawing inspiration from an unlikely source, flight simulators, engineers crafted a solution that defied convention. In the 1960s, motion platforms with six hydraulic legs were created for flight simulators, allowing pilots to experience highly realistic movement and positioning as they virtually flew in simulations. This concept of dynamic movement was now adapted for a task far more grounded yet equally complex. Fast's receiving cabin, an enormous 30-ton structure, is suspended 140 meters above the dish by six towering steel pylons. These pylons are anchored deep into the earth, while tension cables hold the cabin steady. But this is no ordinary structure, it doesn't just sit still. The cabin is in constant motion, floating high above the dish like a sentinel in the sky. Its position is adjusted with centimeter precision by a combination of servo motors and a sophisticated motion platform. This floating behemoth is actively adjusted to ensure that it can capture every signal that reverberates from the universe minute by minute. The engineers at FAST have affectionately called this receiver cabin the apple of the eye, drawing a parallel to the human eye's pupil, which constantly shifts to focus on light. Just as the pupil adjusts to bring clarity to what we see, the cabin continuously moves, ensuring that no radio wave escapes its grasp. Its delicate, almost otherworldly flight enables it to capture every subtle detail, no matter how faint. Though Fast is undeniably a modern marvel, its creation is far from the first step in humanity's quest to peer into the depths of the cosmos. The foundations of radio astronomy were laid centuries ago, and the scientific advances that led to Fast are rooted in some of history's most curious and groundbreaking discoveries. Take the ancient Greeks, for instance. Archimedes, the great inventor and mathematician, is believed to have used parabolic mirrors to focus sunlight and set enemy ships on fire, demonstrating early human ingenuity in harnessing the power of focus waves, albeit, in this case, light rather than radio waves. Fast forward to 1930s Britain, where parabolic sound mirrors were developed to detect approaching enemy bombers. These mirrors worked because focusing the faint sound waves from far off planes into clear audible signals, this technique was a precursor to how modern radio telescopes would eventually amplify the signals from distant stars. But perhaps the most important historical moment came in 1932, when American engineer Carl Jansky accidentally discovered the radio waves emitted by the Milky Way while attempting to track static on transatlantic telephone calls. His work would lay the groundwork for the entire field of radio astronomy, inspiring the construction of radio telescopes to listen to the cosmos. Each of these breakthroughs, from ancient Greece to early 20th century discoveries, was a stepping stone. And now, Fast stands on the shoulders of those visionaries, capable of hearing deeper into the universe than ever before. Unlike optical telescopes that face challenges such as cloud cover or nightfall, radio telescopes like FAST have a far more insidious enemy: interference. Unlike the natural forces that might obscure light, the biggest threat to radio waves is human activity. Microwave signals from our daily devices, car engines, power lines, and even cell phones can create a cacophony that drowns out the faint whispers from distant stars. For this reason, the location of FAST was chosen with careful precision. Nestled in a remote valley in China, Fast's surroundings have been designated a radio quiet zone. The region's natural silence is critical for the telescope to operate at its full potential. The Chinese government went to extraordinary lengths to ensure that nothing interferes with the radio waves that FAST collect. Local residents have been relocated, and wireless signals are strictly banned in the vicinity. Even the staff members at the observatory use walkie-talkies only sparingly. The region is as still as possible because, in the pursuit of knowledge, silence is not just golden, but it's essential. To hear the universe, humanity had to quiet the earth first. Every night, FAST collects a staggering 40 terabytes of raw data. To put this in perspective, that's the equivalent of tens of thousands of high definition movies. But the real challenge doesn't lie in simply collecting data, it's in turning that data into something meaningful. The process of converting these invisible signals into tangible images is rooted in an ancient concept: binary logic. The foundations of computer programming, with its essential hole or no hole logic, trace their roots back to the early 19th century. In 1804, Joseph Marie Jacquard introduced punch cards to automate patterns and weaving. These cards, representing simple binary choices, became the precursor to the binary system that underpins computers today. At FAST, the incoming radio waves are digitized and interpreted by a supercomputer custom built to handle such an immense task. Each signal is assigned a numerical value, and from that value, the computer creates a corresponding point. These points, layered by their intensity and frequency, combine to form an image, a map of the universe as seen through the lens of radio waves. What emerges from this complex process is not just a simple picture, but a visual representation of the cosmos as it was billions of years ago. These images aren't just snapshots, they are windows into time itself. In a world that increasingly values speed and spectacle, fast represents something different. Across the globe, engineers and architects race to build taller buildings, faster trains, and smarter cities. But in one quiet valley in China, they chose to build down, into the earth, into silence, into the stars. Fast doesn't shout, it doesn't shimmer in the sunlight, it doesn't race against time. And yet, it may represent one of the most significant strides humanity has taken in its quest to understand the universe. It's a monument not made of concrete or glass, but of steel, software, and stillness. In the years to come, FAST will continue to reveal secrets of the cosmos, one signal at a time. And as we listen, we move closer to understanding the vastness of space and our place within it, a legacy still unfolding, far beyond the reaches of what we can currently imagine. If we really do hear something, what do you think we should do next? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching this video with us, and catch you in the next one.